All right, everybody. We are live. And unlike yesterday, I am not scrambling without internet, dropping streams, ending the stream. Tonight is going to be a completely different night, I hope. Matt, how are you doing?
Steve, I don't know how to say this other than you and your struggles yesterday was, to put it lightly, a huge disappointment.
I thought you were going to say it was hilarious.
Did you see my thumbnail?
Did I see your thumbnail? No, because I just got done submitting everything for taxes, and I am not a happy camper. Let's go. Let's check out Matt's thumbnail. Hold on.
What about your taxes? What?
You know what? Oh, you're hilarious, Matt.
I am.
You're
trying my best.
Hilarious.
Every day.
Every day I wonder how I can be more like Matt.
No, you don't.
So before Matt answers that question, please take a moment. Read the disclaimer. We have no idea what we're talking about. We are not investment professionals. We just do a lot of research. We just, talk about stuff, financial markets, oil markets, commodity markets. Do your own due diligence. Take everything we say with a grain of salt. We have no idea what your situation is. And with that being said, Matt was just kind enough to give 5 Matt Money memberships. How the hell do I gift memberships, Matt? How are you doing this?
Steven, I feel like I've told you this before.
I think you have.
Because you're a slacker. You've probably missed out on hundreds of memberships that you could have given away to your fans for free.
How do I do this? I'll do it right now.
Go to your own live stream. Not like in StreamYard, right? But like actually like you're watching on YouTube.
Okay.
And then there's a little like you're gonna super chat somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And then do gift gift memberships, I guess. I think it is. And you can get 5 at a time. It gives people a little sneak peek. And for those of you that aren't in Steve's membership, Steve actually does stuff. I'm just a lazy boy. So I have some like individual WhatsApp groups and stuff like that. But
memberships.
But Steve,
what do I do?
Are you on your own? Are you watching yours or mine?
No, I'm on mine. It's telling me to join.
Are you logged into YouTube?
Yes, Matt.
Steven.
Maybe because I went in through the studio?
Yeah, don't go through studio. Watch it like I said. Go through
normal. Don't go through the studio.
I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being direct.
Listen, I don't follow directions well.
No, it's okay. Yeah, no, don't go through studio.
Okay. Let's try this again, everybody.
But Steve does an after hours on Fridays.
Membership gifting. Look at that.
There you go. Yeah.
You have 10 memberships to gift.
Mm-hmm, you can do it twice. So you could do it like all at once, or you could wait till tomorrow to do another stream.
All right, I just gifted 5.
Yeah. And then it'll let you do 5 and 5. But Steve does a phenomenal after hours with Tevis and Roy, and they turn off the lights and they sing Kumbaya and talk about God knows what. But I'm like, we'll be back in 5 minutes, and everyone turns their lights off. Like, what's going on? Are they about to start praying to an owl god? What's going on?
I don't think we're getting the invite to Bohemian Grove. Okay, so let's not start talking about the owl god.
I'll tell you what, I'm not getting an invite is the Robinhood credit card. I'm still waiting.
Hey, I'm still waiting too.
It's like people are going to start thinking that I've just been making up all my money, like my bad credit. Like, what's going on? Like, Amex will give me credit. I've been waiting for years. It's not like I just signed up. It has been years, Steven.
I said this live last night, and Tanner's like, "Oh, I got a hack. I'm like, that's not the point. I don't care if you have a hack.
I don't want to hack. My credit's great.
This is what I'm saying. I'm on the wait list. I've been on the wait list for God knows how long. If I sent an application to Amex, I'm probably getting approved same day.
What is this?
Exactly.
And then Platinum, like Platinum. People are gonna think I'm poor, Steven. Like, what is this?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm flustered.
I don't know.
Although I get to fondle Roy's when we go out and we get lunch every once in a while, and he lets me hold it, and then I throw it at the wall like it's a Chinese
Like it's a throwing star.
throwing star.
All right. Well, maybe one day we'll get off the wait list, Matt.
I'm not holding my breath, Steve, because if I did, I'd die.
Listen, at this point, how can we?
Great product, though. I mean, I've looked at it. Congrats to Robinhood. They're doing a lot of great stuff. I have Leaps. That's the only reason why I'm talking positively. Please go up. That's all I gotta say.
I am very surprised I've been on the wait list for this freaking long. And I'm not about to do some hack. I want to see how long it actually takes. But I'm pretty sure whether it's Amex, Visa, or MasterCard, I'll even throw Discover in there. If I send an app in, I'm getting approved. So I don't know. We're going to have to ask some questions. Anyway.
Steve, you making buys or what?
I may have made some buys today. Ray, I would love to use yours when I see you in California in a couple of weeks. We'll swipe it somewhere for fun.
I needed context. I wasn't paying attention. Yes, uses Robinhood card.
So thank you, everybody, for being here. Michelle, what's going on? Ray, what's going on?
Every time I think of Ray and Michelle, I just get the biggest smile. They just fire me up.
Yeah, they're awesome. And Michelle bakes.
Michelle does bake. Apparently cakes.
Does.
Who
else is here? Dookie Pie is here. Melanie is here. What's going on? Chels is here. A lot of people here. PB's here. Mamba's here.
I have a crush on Ray and Michelle. They're the cutest.
All right, so Matt, big rebound today. A lot of things up. Starting to get excited, and I went to war tonight with the Bears again.
Where do you want to start, Steve? Because we have some news in the public portfolio. I don't know. I don't know if I should wait. I should probably wait for that one because that's the public portfolio with me and Mr. Patel.
Okay, so you should probably wait for that.
We made some moves there, but I mean, I made moves on Monday, as always, buying the normal stocks.
So what moves did you make, Matt?
Just the typical every 2 weeks getting paid. Palantir, the Rocket Lab, the Venture Global, the Next Decade, the Symbiotic, the SPY, Northern Oil and Gas, Granite Ridge Trust. And what else is in here? I'm missing one. Dutch Brothers, Amazon. I've yet, Steve. I've yet, and this is something that we can talk about tonight as well. I have yet to set up an auto drip on BM&R.
Not like it matters.
Oh, go deeper onto that, Steve. Why does it not matter?
I mean, I guess technically it does matter, but the very, very low percentage that they're paying doesn't really matter.
Well, I was just thinking about just because Ethereum is up, Steve.
Well, I may have sold some cover calls today. So
hey,
may have sold
back down. Oh, wait, whoa.
I may have sold 2 cover calls, and I may have rolled the Zeta call in the small account challenge. And I may have done something with that income. We'll talk about it over the weekend. Anyway,
I think you're better than me because it's in the small portfolio, Steve.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to make moves in the small portfolio. Get caught up to you.
Oh,
anyway,
when did this go from $15 to $19? Pretty much.
What?
Zeta.
I've been telling you, you don't listen. Nobody wants to listen. You don't want to listen. Tanner doesn't want to listen.
What have I known you now? 30 months almost 3 years. Nobody ever listens to Steve. You know this.
Nobody listens to me. QXO.
It's the best, dude. When I first started getting to know you, you were just like every time I was on the phone with you. This is before you and I would stream, so it's like now we get to talk way more. But you would call me like, Matt. Before I even said anything, you're like, hey, Steve, what's going on? You're like, nobody listens to Steve.
It's true. Nobody listens to Steve.
And I was just like, this guy is the man. We're gonna be good friends, and obviously, our personalities just mesh. Just nobody listens to Steven.
Nobody listens. I mean, Microsoft.
You see the article I wrote? Nobody listens to Steven.
Nobody listens. You know, I tried telling people about pipelines. Tried telling people about Enbridge. Nobody listens.
Is that up? I'm Steve. I'm out of the game right now.
Enbridge is at 54. 54, Matt.
Dude, talk about a rocket ship.
Talk about a rocket ship with a huge dividend.
I guess they're probably saying, oh, natural gas price or natural gas isn't going anywhere. They're probably going to continue to drill, baby drill. Oil's not going anywhere. I mean,
so
good point.
All right, we got a lot to go over. It looks like tech, and I said on Monday night, said over the weekend, I think tech's finding a bottom. I think the reversal on Monday may have put a bottom in. We're not going to know for a little bit. And look, the reality is I could be wrong. I feel like tech got oversold big time. I think it's very undervalued. I went to war tonight on X, and I will pull up very quickly the post that I did, and I will link it in case anybody's interested in actually reading it. Hold on.
So I'm upset, Steve, because you keep talking about all these rebounds going on. What the fuck is going on with ServiceNow? Part of my language.
Rebounding.
A little bit.
It was at 98, wasn't it? 99?
I guess 14%. You're right.
I mean,
I should be upset with myself, Steve, is what you're saying. I bought 2 days too early, is what you're saying.
So the AI bears are wrong once again.
Is this story time with Maddie again? Do you want me to read it?
I mean, if Maddie wants to read this, it's a shorter one. It's not going to take too long, but you know, Matt can read it if he wants.
How many words, Steve?
It's actually really good.
I read it.
And you can skip all this. You can skip this part. How about that?
How many words?
1,200 maybe?
1,200? It's 8,800 too short, Steve.
You know what? Michael Burry is better than me. What can I say?
Always has been.
Are we doing story time?
1 if we're doing story time, 0 if you want Steve to read it. I kind of want Steve to read it.
No, story time with Matt is just like it's the equivalent of Sleep Corner with Tanner.
Sleep Corner.
That sounds so wrong.
I do actually split 50-50 here, Steve. Oh, nobody wants to hear story time.
No, story time with Matt.
I'm seeing a bunch of zeros though, Steve.
No, I don't see any zeros. I don't know what you're talking about.
Somebody said I want Gemini to summarize it.
You know, somebody said, you know what somebody actually said? It's annoying. Great art. No, hold on.
Oh, Stefan.
Ain't no one reading this. Learn to break it down, homie. This is 2026, not 1906. And why do I have freaking bots impersonating me?
Your assistante.
Ridiculous.
I love the one that said Stephen Fiorillo's secretary.
So, Matt, would you like to read this or not?
Yeah, somebody else called it out. Stephen Fiorillo's secretary.
Or are we skipping this? What do you want to do?
I could read a little bit, but the camera's in the way, so I got.
Oh boy.
Okay. The AI bears are wrong once again. It's clear that a shift in sentiment around capex allocation has occurred as the market is less inclined to reward the hyperscalers for spending massive amounts of capital expenditure. The bear case around AI and the hyperscalers' commitment towards capex is short-sighted, and the bears are unable to see the forest through the trees. The final nail came today after Bloomberg data indicated that Amazon's free cash flow could turn negative in 2026 at a total $524.2 million. Is that it? That's not that bad.
They're expected to do negative 524 million in free cash flow this year.
I mean, that's not that bad. For some reason, like when I started that sentence, I don't know. I remember it being worse than that. This is causing investors to question whether the return on investment will be seen in the bears are loving the chaos because it's overshadowing the real story. There are a handful of companies that are able to deploy this amount of capital towards capital expenditure and building out the foundational assets for the technological infrastructure of tomorrow. Rather than focusing on how much capital will be allocated towards capex, investors should focus on the level of profitability that can be generated from these assets in the future. Steve, I'm trying my executive speak. Do you hear it coming through?
I hear it coming through. You're doing a good job.
All right, I appreciate that because I'm not a very good reader, so I'm trying my best. We're at the tail end. So Steven's coaching me. We're at the tail end of this earnings season, and the hyperscalers proved once again how sticky their revenues are. Should it be revenues are?
How sticky their revenue is.
I'm saying it should be how sticky their revenues are, Steven, because you're talking about the hyperscalers.
Yeah, there is.
I'm not good with English, Steve. I told you.
Semantics.
People, should it be are or is?
Oh my God, keep going.
I'm trying to incorporate the chat in this. The combination of Microsoft, Google, Meta, and Amazon generated $468.4 billion in Q4 revenue, which was an increase of 16.43 or 66.1 billion year over year from 402.3 billion. The quarterly growth rate ranged from 13.6 to 23.8 as Amazon grew its Q4 revenue by 25.6 billion, which is 13.6 year over year, and 213.4 billion. And Meta increased its revenue by 11.5 billion, which is 23.8 year over year, to 59.9 billion. In one quarter, the combination of these companies have generated more revenue than the GDP of countries such as South Africa, Hong Kong, Romania, Greece, and Iraq. When the bears hear that Amazon is going to generate negative free cash flow in 2026, the daggers come out, and everyone is crying about profitability. How come nobody is discussing the fact that Bloomberg's number to be correct about Amazon's free cash flow accounting to negative 524 million in 2026? Their cash from operations would be nearly growing by 42.97% or $60 billion year over year to 200 or basically 199.5 billion, 200 billion. Is that true?
Yes, sir. It's true.
It's going to grow to 200 billion?
Well, they're expected to do 200 billion in capex. So to generate negative 500 million, they would need to do $199.5 billion in cash from operations.
It's not enough, Steve. Cash from operations minus capex equals free cash flow. Steve, thank you for the education. The much bigger story and why the bears and at this point, the much bigger. I'm reading. I'm just trying to make sure I'm reading it. The much bigger story and why the bear. Okay, sorry, I missed the why. Sorry, this camera's in my way.
There's a typo there. The much bigger story and why the bears can't at this point.
It's the camera, Steve. You
no,
typed beautifully. It's a much bigger story and why the bears can't, and at this point, the market can't see. Yeah. The forest through the trees is that Amazon is expected to be almost 60 billion in cash from operations in 2026. At almost 60 billion. Regardless of how many years the current investment cycle lasts, these companies are monetizing their assets. We see in the current data that there is a direct correlation to capex allocation and profitability growth. Microsoft doesn't report on a calendar year, so we'll categorize the numbers as 2021 fiscal year and TTM for the most current data. Apple will be the baseline because they haven't gotten involved in the AI capex race, which I still think is very weird.
Yeah, I hate when they do it. So I'll do the rest, Matt. So
I'll
do the rest. It's fine. Apple has experienced a 30.21% increase in its cash from operations since the 2021 fiscal year, while Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, and Meta's cash from operations has grown by 109.16%, 79.72%, 201.15%, and 100.75%. In the 2021 fiscal year, Apple was the only one of these five companies that exceeded 100 billion in cash from operations. Now, Amazon, Microsoft, and Google produce more cash from operations than Apple. When I look at their balance sheets, the combination of Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, and Google have 420.93 billion in cash and short-term investments and an additional 136.98 billion in long-term investments, with 214.12 billion in long-term debt. Even though Google and Meta tapped the debt markets recently, the total net liquidity on their balance sheets as a peer between cash and investments is 343.79 billion. These companies have the cash flow and the balance sheets to secure their futures in the AI revolution in a way that their competitors can't. So let's be clear about what the bears are actually arguing. They're looking at 1 year of negative free cash flow from a company that's expected to grow cash from operations by 60 billion in that same year and calling it a problem. That's not analysis, that's a headline. These aren't over-leveraged companies burning cash with no path to monetization. These are businesses throwing off hundreds of billions in operating cash flow and choosing to reinvest aggressively because the opportunity set in front of them demands it. Every single one of these companies is generating more cash from operations today than they were spending in total capex in 2021. The investments are already compounding. The bears just refuse to read the cash flow statement. The bears have been here before. If you listened to them when AWS was being built, you missed out on a 10x. If you listened when Meta dropped 70% when they said Zuckerberg lost the plot, you missed 7x off the lows. If you listened when Microsoft's Azure build-out was questioned at every turn, you missed the run to a 3 trillion market cap. The bears have a perfect track record of being wrong at exactly the wrong time. The companies that win the next decade of technology aren't going to be the ones that optimize for short-term free cash flow in 2025 and 2026. They're going to be the ones that built the infrastructure, secured the compute, and locked in the partnerships while everyone else hesitated. There are maybe 5 companies on the planet with the balance sheets, the cash flows, and the operational scale to make these bets. That's not a warning. That's not a warning sign. That's a moat. 5 companies, 468.38 billion in quarterly revenue, 343.79 billion in net liquidity, cash from operations growing at triple digits, and the bear case is 1 year of negative free cash flow from one company during the largest infrastructure build out in a generation. That's not a thesis. That's insanity. The AI bears are wrong again. And I put little graphs about the capex and the cash from ops. And the 3 typos in there are proof, I would say, that this is not freaking AI. This is me. I did not edit this. I just went off. So I actually did not reread it. I just went off.
So you taking over midway just proves that you're better than me.
No, I wanted to give you a break.
I'm just looking at this short-term portfolio. Maddie, you know what I'm in, right?
What are you in, Maddie?
You know what I'm in, right? We just talked about it 3 days ago.
What do you win?
You know what I'm in, Steve?
What do you win?
I'm in 2x Palantir.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
I just looked. I'm doing okay.
I mean, after today, you better be doing okay.
Steven.
I mean,
do I have to say it, Steve? This is going to sound super cocky, but do I have to say it? I mean,
dude, you're better than me. I know you're better than me. I know.
I'm not. That's not even what I'm going to say.
Okay.
You know better than go toe-to-toe with the White House quantitative.
What do you mean?
I mean, I win everything I get into.
How am I going against you? You're not an AI bear.
No, I'm talking about the small portfolio.
Oh, dude, we still got 8 months. Relax. Relax yourself.
I do need a girlfriend. I have nothing else except my numbers. That's pretty much it. It's me and my numbers.
Relax. So yeah, I chose war this evening, and I am sick and tired of the AI bears. I'm sick and tired of the narrative. I'm sick and tired of SaaS being sold off. I'm sick and tired of people talking about vibe coding and replacing security stacks, Knox and socks. It's ridiculous. The idea that, oh no, Amazon's going to have negative free cash flow for a year or two, who cares? I mean, they're going to increase their cash from operations at Bloomberg's right by $60 billion year over year. I'm in Amazon for the next 5-10 years, not the next year. So
The
if
floor,
it's
I've been saying this a lot with a lot of companies, Steve. The floor is going to creep up at some point. There's just no way. It's never been cheaper. I feel like Amazon's never been cheaper. And that's a lie. It's been cheaper probably, but
I mean, the combination
on a price to
of
earnings
Nvidia,
basis.
Yeah, Nvidia, Microsoft, Alphabet, Meta, and Amazon all trade under 20 times forward earnings. I've never seen that before.
I feel like the only time I've seen that in the past when did cloud start getting kind of big? Was that 2016, 18?
17.
I feel like at that time, Microsoft and Apple and all of them were still trading rather cheap.
Yeah, because we started moving everything to SharePoint 21, 22, that area, I guess.
Oh, wow.
We did the final stuff when we started really implementing OneDrive like 2019, I think. I could have my dates mixed up, but like, yeah, it's been a while since we implemented SharePoint. I'm wondering if we were at the old location when we did. I actually don't remember.
I just remember having that conversation, like starting to see this was like 2019, 2020. Maybe because I was in Trinidad. I remember this. I was like talking to some people and they know a lot more about compute than I do. And I was just like, how long can this go? Right? This is 6 years ago. It's like, how long can this cloud stuff go?
Oh no. I'm sorry, man. We got breaking news. Cassandra did it again.
Is he calling you out?
No, but he's calling somebody out. Are you ready for who Cassandra's calling out? Kudos to Nvidia and CFO Colette Kress for changing company policy on the presentation of its earnings and earnings per share. Going forward, Nvidia will no longer exclude its stock-based compensation GAAP expense from the adjusted earnings it presents to investors in Wall Street. This will now make earnings look more like GAAP earnings. Not exactly, but much better. None of this changes the thesis I laid out in my Foundations article, The Tragic Algebra of Stock-Based Compensation, or subsequent reference and short thought articles. I'd love to read it.
That big of a deal?
I'd love to read it, but I'm not paying $400 and whatever dollars for your damn Substack.
I didn't think that SBC was that big of a deal at Nvidia. I mean, obviously, it's made
a
lot of people millionaires.
We're going to see if Cassandra Unhinged or Unchained or whatever the hell he calls himself is. We're going to look at this together and bring it up. And I'll let you know if, as a shareholder of Nvidia, if I approve of them paying their employees, whatever the hell they're paying them. Let's see. All right. Currently, stock-based compensation is $6.4 billion for the year.
Larger than I thought. Larger than I thought. But for a $5 billion or $5 trillion company,
4.5 or 5%. Who cares? Of net. That's of net. Net income 120 billion, and they're paying roughly 4.5, 5% in share-based compensation and buying back 48 billion. I'm cool with them paying their employees $6 billion. No problem.
How could you, Steve?
No problem.
How could you?
I mean, they're repurchasing $48 billion worth of shares. They can pay their employees $6 billion worth of shares.
The only reason why they're probably having to pay $6 billion is because the share price has increased so much.
You know, I want to talk to Dr. Burry so bad about this. I want to understand where he's coming from. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm looking at this incorrectly, but I know how to read a cash flow statement. Okay.
We talk about because I continue to see this get worse, right? Not you. I'm not coming at you. It's like Bloomberg with this Amazon's going to zero article. Like, are people just that desperate to sell headlines these days?
I think it's that desperate for clicks.
Is YouTube eating that many people's lunch with these clickbaits?
I have no idea.
Is Amit that powerful where these people have to?
Yes, he is.
I mean, that was a rhetorical statement, but are they that scared of the Amit Kukreja or Daisy Boy?
I think they're shook of him.
I don't know. I'm just these institutions that I grew up like thinking were like, you know what I mean? Like you grow up idolizing these institutions, Steve, like the Barons of the world, the Bloombergs of the world, and you're just like, is this a click farmhouse? Like, what is going on?
That's exactly what this is. I think they're trying to now the Bloomberg data, it could be correct. I don't know. I mean, they're not saying Amazon's going to zero. They're saying that their free cash flow is going to be negative. It could be. But the idea that somebody as prominent as Dr. Burry is going to say these things, I mean, the cash flow statement does not lie. And spending $6 billion on SPC when you're doing 120 billion net income, who gives a shit? Like, come on.
Steve, the free cash flow is like your hips. They don't lie.
I mean, Nvidia's free cash flow is going to explode this year.
And the reason why I say it's going to zero is because anytime a stock decides to dip 0.5%, people lose their effing minds. And so I've invented the term it's going to zero because one of two things. If it dips by 0.5%, people say, oh my God, my life is over. And they start running for the hills and putting their tail between their legs. Or two, it goes up by like 0.1% and people are like, oh my God, Lambo. That's why I say the when Lambo joke. If I wanted a Lambo, I'd buy a damn Lambo. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a joke. I don't know. I just think it's pretty funny. But the real going to zero part is getting an extra zero, Steven. Going from 6 to 7 or 7 to 8. And if if you're not following.
I mean, how many Lambos do you have right now?
As many as you want me to have, Steve.
I like it.
I don't have any.
Well, I'm getting a little sick of it, especially when it comes to software. Look, I am going to do a very long article on Salesforce. I have not had the time yet. I think it's disgusting, the valuation. I think that Salesforce deserves a lot more credit than it's getting. And I think that the market is looking at the wrong things. I really do.
Dude, it went down to 178. Are you kidding?
It's insane. Look at how much profitability they do. They're increasing guidance. They're initiating a larger buyback than before. They're doing so many good things. It's like, what are we doing? Now you look at them, you look at freaking ServiceNow. I mean, look at CrowdStrike. Like the fact that people really were under this impression for a couple of weeks that we're just going to code a freaking security platform and the C-suite's going to approve it. Get out of here. Just stop. Just stop.
My service meow. Calls are up 20%.
I like it.
Maybe I should just sell them, Steve. I thought for some reason that they would be flat, but so my 95 puts for May are up 25%, and then my now 115 calls for August are up 21.4%.
You know what I wrote a little article on last night, Matt?
I didn't see. Sorry.
This is probably a company that you love.
Venture Global.
Berkshire Hathaway.
I don't mind it. Service meow.
I like the title. Berkshire Hathaway's handoff year. Buffett's final lessons. Abel's first blueprint.
What did they do, Steve? Let's see. The fourth.
The
You talking about the fourth quarter?
Market's getting shook after earnings with Berkshire. So if anybody wants to read it, it's a pretty good article. It's in the chat.
Let's see what Berkshire did, Steve. 13F.
They sold Apple.
Let's go to the aggregate. Let's go to the funds.
And just so everybody knows, and Matt, I think I told you, so don't say anything. But Basis Point will be back this week. New episode.
You didn't tell me everything, Steve.
I did. Didn't I? I told you.
You told me it was going to be back, but I don't know anything.
No, I didn't tell you. I thought I did. Big interview tomorrow morning. Dare I say, huge interview tomorrow morning. And Friday, everybody's going to get a banger.
Oh, it's coming out that quick.
Yeah.
Service me out, Steve.
Yeah. So
you're giving service me out to the people. But yeah, I'm curious. So I pulled up my tool here.
Oh yeah, let's see your tool. Now this was on REPL.
REPL.
What did you build it on?
Oh, Replit. Yeah.
Replit, that's why. But you know what I mean. I was close enough for government work.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but that was the private placement that I got into. It's a small amount. I like Replit. I've been using it for a little bit. You know, Steve's talking crap about vibe coding, and I'm just over here, you know, trying my best. But no, I think there's still errors with this. I agree with Steve. There's still errors with this, right? So I put about $500, $600 into building this. Obviously, it costs money to run as well. I'm just trying to see where people find value, how I can make it better. So I posted in the chat, but if anybody's ever curious about looking up funds and 13Fs and comparing them, etc., you have this opportunity. So let's see briefly what Berkshire got out of.
Can you make it bigger by any chance? It's very small on the screen.
Steve, that's what they tell me. Let's see, is that big enough for you, Steve?
It's better.
So you're telling me I need to fix the text. I appreciate that feedback.
No, I just think that when you share, like, it's very hard to make it out.
No, it's good feedback. I appreciate that. Thank you. So what did they? So they added to Chubb. Chubb that's one stock, Steve, that I'm very upset with because I remember looking.
What company?
Chubb. It's an insurance company.
Trust me, I'm aware who Chubb is.
Don't give me lip, Steven.
I'm in insurance.
I know, I'm just messing with you. But I'm very upset with myself because, like, I remember 2015, 2016, I was like, who is replicating what Berkshire is doing? And Chubb and something XL. Anyway, I think the one got bought out, but it was Chubb and another. And I'm very upset with myself that I never bought Chubb because Chubb is absolutely printed money over this past few years. Let's see. So yeah, they got out of. I'm curious what your thoughts are. I want to touch on that because Abel. I'm curious to see how Abel's going to situate himself going into the new year. So they sold out of almost all of Amazon. Oxy remains unchanged. Coca-Cola only up because of price. Apple, they sold 4.3. Apple is still 22% of the portfolio. How much money have these guys made? I mean, at one point, wasn't it like over 200 billion or something? It was insane. They exited completely Liberty Media, which was pretty because it merged. Got it. Something else. Increased to Chevron. 19 billion of Chevron, which isn't a small position. Decreased Bank of America, exited Liberty. Okay, so it's the merger for Liberty. New York Times they bought. That was a big headline. Pool company they got out of. Domino's, Steve. Yep. What's the theory on that? Is it oversold?
Look, I have my problems with Berkshire. I used to be bullish. I was a shareholder. I exited the position a while ago, and I am not getting back in. I think that Abel's letter read more of a system rather than folklore the way that Buffett used to write. And it almost feels like he's not going to do anything different and he's actually going to be more cautious. And the problem that I had with Buffett for a long time is not deploying capital, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, he did a deal that allowed him to get preferreds and equity stock in Oxy. Okay, cool. You have 300, like, let me pull up the exact numbers. Hold on.
I mean, talk about a brilliant move though by Ackman though, selling 100 or 83%, 86% of Alphabet, and then initiating a $1.8 billion position in Meta. Genius. Sorry, I just wanted to say that while you pull that up.
Yeah, no, I get it. Did I leave a section out of this article?
Steven, what is wrong with you today?
No, I didn't. All right, so
Typos, potentially
look,
leaving.
with the risk-free rate of return declining, it's not bullish for Berkshire. They have $744 billion sitting on the balance sheet in investments and equities. In 2024, Berkshire generated $21.8 billion in interest and dividends. That only increased to $23.26 billion in 2025. So the amount of income generated from their entire investment portfolio, whether it's treasuries, dividends from equities, loans that they've made, it increased 6.5%. Now, this continues to fall, and the total amount of investments from T-bills to equities, including cash on hand, has grown 10.5%, 71 billion. They're growing their capital more than what they're generating in income, and in a lower rate environment, they're going to yield significantly less from all these treasuries. And they're almost waiting for a perfect pitch. But think about this. Think about where valuations were in 22. There was a lot of perfect pitches then. They didn't do anything. Think about Liberation Day. There was a lot of perfect pitches then. They didn't do anything. It almost makes me wonder, what are they going to do? They should have acquired the entire company of Oxy. They should have acquired the entire company of Chevron. They didn't. I mean, look what Chevron got. Yeah. Berkshire Energy is a huge conglomerate of pipelines and power plants.
I don't know if they could afford it though.
Excuse me?
You think Berkshire could merge or buy them?
Dude, Chevron was at $140 less than a year ago. They were probably
at 225 billion.
Yeah, they got that sitting in T-bills short term.
I guess that's true.
I mean,
you're right. No, I mean, I keep forgetting how large their cash is. It's insane.
Yeah. And the yield that they would have gotten from buying it at that price by just taking out all the shareholders and just keeping all the earnings would have been huge. They love the energy business. I mean,
I don't think people understand how big Berkshire Hathaway Energy is. It's huge.
It's huge.
Massive.
Like, this would fit great in their energy portfolio, or just acquire the rest of Oxy.
Yeah, I'm not 100% certain why. I mean, Oxy, the problem that I see with Oxy to an extent is Oxy was a really good acquirer, and Anadarko was anybody that acquired Anadarko was going to do extremely well, and Oxy was the one that ended up acquiring them. Now, the problem is that they've run out of and developed a lot of the great assets that Anadarko has had, and they haven't had too many. I hate to say this about partners. They haven't had too many prolific discoveries that can extend their R to P, the reserves to production ratio. And so because of that, their R to P has continued to go down. And they're not in a horrible situation, but all they've really concentrated on is buybacks, which I get to an extent. But to me, it's about investing through the cycle. And I think some companies, without naming names, other than maybe Oxy, I guess, because that's who we're talking about, have maybe been too focused on buybacks than actually reinvesting in their business and making sure that it's sustainable. Because now we're entering, it was very easy for people to say 2020s, we're going to get our financials right and everything like that. Well, now it's 2026, right?
Sure.
And now people are starting to understand and trying to say, well, shit, is oil something we're going to hold from 2030 to 2040? Or do we need to get out?
No.
And so I think a lot of people now are starting to question and look at the companies that had those long reserve to production ratios, the Exxons, the Chevrons of the world, and many others, to say, okay, these are the ones that we know if they pay a 5-6% dividend and they buy back 5 to 6% of the shares, we're eventually going to be able to sell out in 5-10 years time when we have that opportunity, and we will still have made money. Versus some of these other companies that their R to Ps are less than 5 or 6 or maybe even 7 if you're lucky, they're sitting there being like, what do you mean you only have reserve to production ratio of 7? It's kind of scary.
Think about this. So, and I'm not against Berkshire tying up a large amount of capital in short-term T-bills if they're actually going to deploy it at some time. But Buffett didn't. And I am more worried that Greg Abel is going to sit there and ask himself, what would Warren have done? I feel like he's going to ask that way too much. And all the money that they've had in short-term T-bills over the past 5 years would have underperformed any of the Mag 7. You could have put all that money in Apple. You could put all that money in Microsoft. I mean, I'm not saying they should have, but a 5% at the height, they were getting a 5.5% risk-free rate of return. And I get it. When you have that much money, that becomes large. Obviously, they did over $20 billion not doing anything. But it also shows you that, man, are they shook to deploy capital. And if GDP continues to grow, and if earnings continue to grow and revenue continues to grow, at what point are they going to get a perfect pitch to swing at?
I think it's tough, man. They just become so huge. You have to find businesses that can run themselves. And I think that might have been the problem with Chevron, is like, you need it's its own entity, like a lot of these other businesses. But I feel like, I don't know, maybe they just didn't feel confident that they could absorb a $200 billion company and let it run autonomously.
Maybe, but they still could have deployed that capital across 5 or 10 equities and got a much better rate of return than keeping it in T-bills. And is Greg Abel going to actually make tech investments? I don't know. I have no idea what they're planning on doing with this money. He really didn't give any insights to it. It feels like he's going to be systematic, and it feels like he's going to build a system around Buffett's beliefs. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. At the same time, when's the last time they did a big acquisition?
Pulling up their portfolio again. Time they did the last big acquisition? Union Pacific. No, that wasn't Union Pacific. It was the NSF was like 2013, 2014. I don't remember what else was after that. There was a few. Smaller.
I almost feel like they should have brought Progressive or something, expanded the insurance further.
What companies do he own more than 10% of? He owns more than 10% of Oxy.
Bank of America, I think.
I think he sold down the amount of Bank of America, so it's under 10%. I think. I need to make these clickable in here.
So I don't know. I'm not bullish on Berkshire, to say the least. I need at least 2 quarters to see what this guy's going to do, but I don't know.
What would you do, Steve?
I mean, with that amount of capital, I'd look at what the next revolution is, and I'd go buy freaking CoreWeave and Nebius at that point. Because why the hell not? Data is the new gold. I mean, they're going to expand rapidly. We need more compute.
I mean, who's buying? Let me see. Share this, Steve. Who's buying? These are all the 13Fs, and who's buying and who's not. See top movers. And people, I don't know. Microsoft's kind of 50-50.
I think investing in Microsoft and Amazon further would be great. I mean, I think it's pretty wild that Berkshire doesn't own Microsoft. Out of everything they own,
Yeah,
and
they
I think
don't own
Microsoft's been
Microsoft.
being up so much they should take a stake.
They have a 2% of their portfolios in Alphabet, 0.2% in Amazon, Steve.
Yeah, we should increase that.
Understandable why they're decreasing Apple. I mean, at one point it was over 50% of the portfolio. They did buy more Chevron, Steve.
Yeah. But if you look at when they bought Chevron, they could have bought the whole company.
Look, this is so insane. Like, you look at all the other, I mean, Vanguard, you can't really take into account the Vanguards because Vanguard is, but let me see if I can filter that. Can I filter specifically on hedge funds? I need to add that filter on.
I mean, you know what you could do? They could freaking just DCA into an S&P 500 index fund and absolutely shatter their risk-free rate of return and not even take that much risk.
This one's actually kind of crazy because I was looking at this the other day. So you see how like Berkshire is 22% in Apple, right? Like,
yeah,
we all know. But like then you look at Rentec, RIP Jim Simmons, and it's like they have so many positions spread across. It's like 0.2, 0.3, 0.1. It's like I don't understand how the hell that thing works. Like I would love to sit and try to understand the quantitative behind how Rentec works. Like you're talking about how many stocks are they investing in if the most is 0.4% in United Health? Like 1.3% in sorry, that's a different one. Rentec. 0.4 in United Health, 0.7 in Procter and Gamble. I don't know, like super diversified portfolio. Pretty crazy.
yeah. No. But yeah, needless to say, I'm not bullish on Berkshire. But I don't know. We'll see. I think tech's going to do really well. I still think we can get 8,000 S&P this year. I don't think this is a black swan event. I think the situation with Iran is going to be fixed. I don't think oil's going to 90 or 100. We'll see.
They know where you live and where you were born. I mean, anybody that has autocomplete on their computer, like, you know what I mean? Like, are you entering your address and your phone numbers and your name every time if somebody asks you? Like, of course, you're giving that stuff up for ease. I don't know.
So I don't know. What do you think about the way the market turned today and bounced?
I was a bit surprised. To be very honest, I still think that there's uncertainty in the markets right now. Overall, I'm not saying it's going to zero or anything, but I'm just a little bit surprised that it's quick to kind of recover. I mean, I guess the reason why is because they potentially think that there's going to be the ceasefire, right? They apparently people hacked some of the leaders in Iran's phones, but I think it's too early to tell whether or not there's actually going to be. But at the same time, I think it's been such a. This is going to sound really rude. This is from an outsider's perspective, okay? And war is war, and I don't want people dying. But I'm being asked the question. I mean, I think this is so anticlimactic right now, based off of my current perspective. Maybe it's just been the American propaganda and the videos that I've seen, etc. But I just feel like the war is kind of done with all, you know what I mean? But you know, maybe that's just an initial. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, nobody wants war. If you're a normal, sane person, nobody wants war. And nobody wants women and children living in a war-torn country. Okay. So let's hope it's over with and let's hope that it can get rebuilt. But when it comes down to business and economics, you need the Strait open. It has 20% of the global oil going through it. And the reality is, the majority of Saudi Arabia's oil is going through the Strait. Only a limited amount, maybe 10 or 20%, goes up the other side into Europe. You have to remember, China and India, you have to go through the Strait to get there pretty much. And you also have Kuwait there, United Emirates there. Yeah, I think 7 or 8 oil producing nations there. So this was never going to last, at least with the Strait being closed, for a length of time that would impact the oil markets to where it got 90 or 100. There's just no way. Saudi Arabia is too powerful in the Middle East. They're not going to allow it. So I put in a post the other night. The big thing is not inflation in a week and a half. It's what the consensus for the March numbers looks like, not where February comes in. Because if that starts creeping up, we got problems.
Yeah, I mean, you asked me the other night. I mean, do I think this is going to what did you ask? $85 a barrel? I mean, I think you need another foot to drop for that to happen. I think where it's at right now with the uncertainty, 77 for WTI, so a little bit over 80 for Brent. I get it. You know, I can understand the uncertainty piece of it, but I'm with you, Steve. I don't think that this is going to have a long-term impact. And I'm curious. I mean, this is just spot prices, right? So this is for April contracts. I mean, I don't even know what WTI looks like going out in time. I haven't looked at the strip. I mean, it could very well be that the prices out in May are much cheaper. I don't know. Let me see. I mean, we're talking about the front month, right? I mean, but for May, it starts to drop off. Like, for example, December 2026, it's back to $66 a barrel. That's what's trading right now, right? So people are being able to say, hey, we know for a fact that we're going to be trading at $66 a barrel. That's a good price. Let me lock that in. I mean, that's not too dissimilar to where we were before this whole skirmish happened. I don't know if that's where you were trying to get at, Steve, or not.
No, I don't think it's realistic for oil to get to 85 to 100 right now. Because I don't think that this is something where the Strait's going to be closed and oil production is going to seriously decline. Yes, paper gains. I texted Jason 100 a barrel. I'm lying, just like I lied about S&P 7,000.
You're shook, Steve.
Shook. You know
Did you
what's
actually text him
interesting?
that or not?
No, he's joking.
How come how come I don't get the text?
Because it's not real text. He's joking.
Let me get
So
the number. I'm upset. Is he the LA meetup?
yeah, Jason lives out there. He's coming, I believe.
I was gonna say. I just wasn't sure if he was gonna. Because some of us unfortunately can't make it, like me.
So do we think Jensen's going to be correct that data center capex is going to go to 3 to 4 trillion by 2030?
I don't know. I can't even fathom that. I don't think so, and here's why. We're already seeing, and they talked about this a good bit in All In. We are seeing too much of a pushback on local infrastructure, data centers being delayed, canceled, or forbidden to start already, and that is before we've even gotten things kicked off really. So I don't think, unless there's some federal mandate that makes these things kind of happen, I think there's going to be way more pushback, and I feel like that's going to be the big issue: is regulatory power, people ensuring that local individuals don't. I don't know.
So what he's saying is that AI workloads are going to need 1,000x more compute than traditional software. And I have no idea if he's right or not, but the idea that, and this is not just hyperscalers, this is everybody, that you're going to need to spend 3 to 4 trillion. I mean, maybe 1 to 2. I have a hard time with 3 or 4. I could see over 1 trillion. That's another 4 years. I mean,
1
shit.
trillion is very different than 2 to 3, Steve.
No, I get it, but we're already at 620 just from the hyperscalers. I can see 1 to 2. Either way, I do think that this is the tech trade is where I want to be right now.
That's a good question. People in the chat are raising a really good question there, Steve. Are we talking about terrestrial data centers? Are we talking about
That if we were, that would mean rocket money is going to the moon.
Steve? Did I get
Like
into that?
literally going to the moon?
No, the moon, that's reserved for Blue Origin and Tesla.
So we'll just build our own asteroid.
We're going to Mars at this point. MARS.
Oh, going to Mars.
Did you knowing you hate Rocket Money? You didn't see their announcement, did you?
Matt, I don't follow Rocket Money. I get my Rocket Money news from you.
I get it, Steve. You just never wanted me to be successful.
I want to be a piker the rest of my life.
So, Rocket Money on last Tuesday, so just about a week ago, they came out and they are now going to be creating silicon for data centers, so silicon-based solar panels for data centers in space.
Say that again.
Silicon-based solar panels.
Okay.
For data centers in space.
Yeah. Okay.
When are you investing, Steve?
Hashtag never.
Steve, you recognize that Rocket Lab is the largest
producer. I do. Yes.
Producer of solar panels for space.
Yes.
I just wanted to give you another.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Who the hell is going to build a data center in space?
A lot of people, Steve.
No. A lot of robots. People are not building a data center in space. It would be impossible. Now, if you sell me on the idea that Optimus will be the one doing the work in space, I'll buy that. But the idea that humans will build data centers in space as humans doing the labor, I don't understand how that works. So you need any human that's going to do the labor to be a trained astronaut.
What are you talking about, Steve? What do you know? What do you
Data
think?
centers in space.
You think about it.
I am thinking about it.
You just launch a bunch of satellites, Steve.
Launch a bunch of satellites.
Yeah. All it is.
Launch a bunch of satellites. So you're saying that we're going to build the data centers here. We're going to hot air balloon them up, or whatever we're going to do to get them up, and we're going to be able to get that weight up.
You're sending up hyper-focused satellites that are filled with GPUs and utilizing solar panels. And it's going to be efficient because...
So it's not real data centers then. Is what they're making, what everybody is making this out to seem is we're going to build data centers the way that we are building data centers here, but in space. Why are you looking at me like that?
I never perceived it that way.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying in general, the narrative about building data centers in space is the data centers you drive by that look like huge corporate campuses are going to be built in space. Now, what you're saying is something completely different.
I mean, what I'm thinking is...
I'll buy what you're saying. If you end up being correct, I can see that.
What I'm thinking is like, for example, the Neutron rocket is like 18 feet in diameter, and you could fit a lot of racks in something like that. And the solar panels, generally speaking, for a lot of these things, so James Webb, many others, are foldable. So what you can do is compact it, and once you get it out into orbit where you want it to be, unfold the solar panels and have a large thing, and it's going to be more efficient than you would expect because guess what, Steve? Space is pretty cold.
The last time I heard.
So the solar panels will be very hot, obviously, due to the fact that they're going to be getting direct communication with the sun, and there's not going to be an atmosphere to cool it off. But on the backside, where you have the appropriate heat exchangers, it's basically just going to be fins that are able to connect up to space because it's going to be super cold. I mean, it's going to be very efficient.
Okay.
Versus what we have on terrestrial land, which is we have to have water, or we're liquid cooled, do we have enough ventilation going on? I don't know. I haven't fully thought it through, but it's not as crazy as I once thought it was.
Can I ask you something?
No, I'm not selling Rocket Lab, Steve.
I'm looking at pictures of the International Space Station. How come the Earth looks like it's flat?
Steve, my dinner's at the door. I gotta...
I mean, if the center of the Earth is molten lava and warm, Matt, why is the bottom of the ocean cold? Why? Shouldn't it be hot? No. He's trying so hard not to laugh, everyone. So hard.
Steve, please show us some of these theories.
What do you mean?
It's actually pretty wild. So I actually saw a video recently. I don't know if I'm allowed to say who from, but it was an amateur rocket launch.
Ooh.
And they're obviously not getting above the Kármán line or anything like that, but you could definitely, once you got that high up, it was like, I don't remember what it was, over 200,000 feet. And you could see the curvature of the Earth, and you're just like, that's pretty badass.
Michelle wants me to go to NASA. In all seriousness, everybody, I'm not a flat earther. It's a joke, okay? But I will say, I made the mistake of clicking on a flat earth video. The next thing I knew for like a week and a half, Every third video in my reel was some flat earth thing, and like they have flat earth conventions. It's freaking crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, we should still go. It's pretty cool. The Space Center. You know what's also really cool in Houston? The Natural History Museum is actually pretty badass.
Very interesting. Well, Matt, solar panels in space, data centers in space. I'm with you. Rocket Money's probably one of the only companies that can do it.
See if you're getting yelled at.
What do you mean? Why am I getting yelled at?
Shadow government's getting yelled at you. I can't wait till one day we convince the shadow government to be in the chat.
That would be hilarious.
That should be your goal, is to figure out a way to give her a different name on her account. Or his account. You never know.
Would you go to space, Matt?
Steve, my body is not built for that.
I would never go to space.
I'm just gonna be point blank. I don't think it was ever in the cards for me.
Yeah, I'm not going to space. So what are we buying, Matt? What are the next moves?
I'm sitting here trying to decide when I sell these 2x Palantir.
I mean, you made some money on it. Why not take a little off the table?
25%, Steve.
I like it.
I don't know. What would I buy? About more Symbiotic.
Did Broadcom report tonight? Hold on.
I'm happy Symbiotic is kind of staying down.
Broadcom is up big. Oh boy. All right. Broadcom is up 5.3% after hours, $16.82. Let me see if I can get the highlights. Hold on. All right. Revenue up 29% year over year. Adjusted EBITDA, 68% margin. I need to go through this. Okay, that's interesting. Very bullish Nvidia, people are saying. Matt, when you get on the Nvidia train?
Can't afford it, Steve.
Okay.
You know what's actually pretty cheap?
Hmm.
Here is Dutch Bros.
Dutch Bros.
Yeah. So people are always going to run away from it because they're like, oh, it's a coffee company, right? You should value it on price to earnings. Wrong.
Do tell.
Why is it wrong? Why is it wrong, Steve?
Do tell.
You take a guess.
Why is it wrong to evaluate Dutch Bros on a price to earnings basis?
Yes.
Oh, I'd say because they're still theoretically in hyper growth mode and allocating a lot of capital to expansion.
And that involves
Huge capex.
To
what?
What does involve capex to?
Well,
Where's that money going?
First, capital leases because they have to expand their footprint.
God, this guy's good.
Second, machinery because they use what is classified as machinery to make all their goods.
And what happens when you invest in a lot of real estate and a bunch of
you have depreciation and amortization, sir. I see where you're going with it. It's the same model as Starbucks. I get it.
So what if I told you you had a company that has trading at a price to EBITDA of about 25 forward year 26 and is going to be growing at 25 to 30% annually for the next several years? 25 to 30%
of what?
EBITDA growth. Sorry, revenue growth. So EBITDA is probably going to be better, but
Okay.
net income is going to grow pretty crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it's a horrible play. I don't know. I've never been there, so I don't know what the product if the product's good.
Maybe you'll try it in California.
Do they have them?
Yeah. Where you're going specifically, I don't know, but most parts of California do.
Does anybody
It's
know
not
if
dirt
there's,
cheap, but
does anybody know if there's a Dutch Bros near in Clover City where Mitt's having the meetup? I would like to go.
you may or may not like it, Steve, because it's more espresso than coffee.
I mean, I judge everything on their regular coffee. Not in LA. Is there an In-N-Out burger over there? I really want to go.
100%.
June, is there an In-N-Out burger near Clover City? Or anybody that's over there? I need to see for myself what the hype about In-N-Out burger is.
What are you talking
There
about?
is.
Not in LA.
Oh, Hollis is here. There is. I must go. Okay.
What's different? Where's Irvine compared to LA?
You know, I'm being told that I don't know good coffee if it hit me in the face. I drink colored water.
Where's LA? Is this LA? That's not LA. How can I not see LA on a map? Am I dumb?
Oh my
That's
God.
San
An
Fran.
hour drive? Jeez. In California traffic, that's like centuries.
I don't know. I couldn't get myself out of a paper bag, Steve. I have no idea where I am on the map. Anaheim's not far from LA, right? Yeah. There's Dutch Bros all over the place.
Okay. We'll try to figure it out.
There's not north of LA in Thousand Oaks. I don't know where you guys are. Is it in Thousand Oaks? Calabasas? Like where are you guys at?
Clover City. I have no idea. I've been to California one time.
Clover City, California.
And I was in Silicon Valley.
Oh, Culver City. I don't know why I thought it was
Culver, Clover, same difference, right?
Yeah, there's one not far. It's off of like Route 5. So. Oh, that's like right next to the airport. Good choice, Amit. Amit.
Yeah, it's not far. It's like 5 miles or something like that.
And you're not having to go like downtown. So that's actually no, that's towards downtown there. This is going towards west. Where did I go? Anyway, Steve, you're a good man. That's all I know.
You know, some would say you are a good role model to society and beyond that.
Dude, you're not gonna like In-N-Out? What? In-N-Out is overrated. Don't go In-N-Out in Culver City. There's Chuck-a-Burger. Do they have Chick-fil-A in New York, Steve?
Yes,
Are you a Chick-fil-A fan?
I am. I think Chick-fil-A is very good.
I like their grilled nuggets.
People are saying Culver City is not a good area. Like, dude, I'm from New York. It's probably the same shit as over here.
Steve, you're a good man. I'm gonna go get my food and watch the rest of Succession because I never finished it.
Oh, you finished Billions
Yes,
before you go get your food. You finished Billions.
finished Billions.
Now
Disappointed.
you're on Succession.
I wasn't disappointed by Billions. I was just
Okay.
you hyped it up. I thought it was supposed to be slightly better.
Come on, the ending was amazing.
It was pretty good.
I only have one gripe with the ending. It's the last scene on how they ended it. That's
Yes,
my only gripe.
I also had the same.
I'm sorry. I wanted Wendy and I shouldn't say it because I don't
Don't
want to
say it.
spoil it. Yeah,
What's this
you know what
DTF?
I'm saying. I wanted two people to be together.
What's this DTF show with Jason Bateman? What's going on with this?
I don't know. I saw it on Netflix, but I do have to say, I was very disappointed in Industry's finale. It
Oh,
was
it's already done.
horrible. It was the show's over. I think horrible.
Over.
I think so. Horrible, 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 horrible. What they did with Yasmin is horrible. What the hell?
There's only 8 episodes.
It's no good.
No bueno, Steve.
It's no good. I gotta figure out like
Steve, you're gonna get upset with me. You know how far I'm in an industry?
first season.
What episode?
Like 3.
No, I'm on episode 6.
I should text Irwin. I really gotta text him and see if he finished it.
Should I finish? What's better? Should I finish Succession or should I finish Industry? I'm already like almost done season 3
Succession.
of Succession.
At this point, Succession so much better. I was really feeling Industry the first season and even the second season, but I think Industry just went downhill. I had such high hopes for this season. Succession is such a better show.
Well, you seem like you liked the first 2 episodes of this season.
I did. I had high hopes, and then it sucked.
Oh. You don't think it's character building? You think it's legit?
No, I think it was. I think they missed. They missed the plot.
They think they got cut.
Yeah,
it's a shame. Some of these HBO series, they'll have like 1 or 2 really good seasons, like Waterworld. Remember, not Waterworld, Westworld. You remember the first season of Westworld? My fucking mind exploded.
Westworld could be the #1 show that had the best first season, and the rest of the series sucked.
I don't even think I watched the I don't think I finished the second. I want to rewatch the first season because I've never rewatched it, and I should.
Westworld was so like the first season was so good, and the rest of the series was horrible.
Steve, what else is all this? There's a lot of stuff. I still need Nights on the Seven. I need to shut up. And
Don't even bother. Was horrible. Nights of the Seven, horrible.
What's the seduction?
Go. You know, did you watch True Blood?
Part of it.
True Blood is awesome.
You were a fan of The Deuce too, right?
Oh my God. The Deuce is one of the best shows that HBO's made in a long time.
What about Rome?
I didn't watch it.
Surprising for you, Steve. I don't know what I'm gonna do, Steve. F1's coming back.
No, it's back, right?
I know, but like, what am I gonna do? Like, how am I supposed to balance all of this content?
You just gotta get after it, Matt.
Maybe stop being so shook.
Unlike Sleep Corner with Tanner, maybe you got 6 hours a night.
So like when Roy and Tevis are streaming, I shouldn't watch them. I should watch actual TV.
I'm just saying you gotta figure out a way to fit it in.
So I know you don't watch my streams.
I'm just saying you gotta figure out
a
a way
to
fit it in.
Boring, off.
You gotta figure out a way to fit it in. Maybe you stay up till 1 a.m.
No, I've already gotten in trouble because of that.
What do you mean?
I just get up late for work and then I need to rush in, or I'm like 15 minutes, or sometimes I'll accidentally sleep through a meeting.
Okay.
All because I'm trying to keep up with it all, Steve. I can't.
I mean, TV shows are a good vice, man.
Yeah, see, Steve's a bad influence. What did I get for dinner? I got Vietnamese banh mi sandwich and a blondie. What is a blondie? Is it like it's kind of like a brownie, but not, right?
Yeah, it's like a brownie with something.
Yeah.
We did not talk about the Hood event. I did not watch it.
Oh, I thought you did.
I was going to, but I ended up finishing my tax submittal, so died a little bit inside after submitting everything. Not happy, I can tell you that.
You got that Steven money.
No, I need that money to pay my tax bill is what I need.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I saw what Amit and Roy posted. The getting paid dividends a month early. I want to know how the hell they're going to do that. So, very interesting.
You're a good man, Steve. Steve, I already got the chat section up of probably the website.
What?
I already got the chat section up.
What are you talking about?
Oh, let me log in.
Chat section or what? You're not making any sense.
I have a chat section on my site.
Oh.
Sure. Our site.
I'm trying to read everything in the chat right now. I did not use Claude to double check my taxes. My accountant does my taxes for me. I just sent all the paperwork into the portal, so we'll see what happens. I did not look into Snap.
What's one that somebody shared on? Oh, people have shared on VG.
I do not use TurboTax.
Pull it up, Steve.
Pull up your screen.
Yeah. Yeah, VG's
my accountant does my taxes.
VG's effed. I gotta fix this, but yeah, I have a little chat bot over here, so people can kind of chat about it and contribute, and then people can thumbs up. Whoever's the number one, it'll be a top contributor eventually. So hopefully, if you have thousands of people, so like for you, for example, people are like, oh, I really like what Steve wrote. For the next 12 hours, if you're the guy and everyone loves that tweet or post, in this case, they can thumbs up and it'll show up as you being the top contributor for that particular, which is really nice because then you can figure out like who are the top people for individual stocks, etc. But I also enabled gifts. That was fun, enabling gifts.
Look at these two guys. I go on X, and what pops up? Ives and the head of Zeta. Love it.
I love how Ives always is pointing the finger at the other person. It's so
loves it.
He's got his photos down. You're a good man. What are you gonna watch, Steve?
I don't know. I should probably shave tonight so I don't have to do it tomorrow.
You do have a thick beard.
You know?
I don't.
No.
What about True Detective? Did you watch all of them?
I wasn't a fan.
Not even the first season?
I wasn't a fan.
What about Righteous Gemstones?
I've seen a couple of episodes. I didn't finish.
Didn't kick off for me.
No.
Oh, I'm only on episode 4 of season 3. That was much further along, Steve. So I got a lot to go. Oh no, it's only 4 seasons. Oh yeah, I might as well finish. Okay, I'm gonna get after it, Steve.
All right, I think we're going to end it, everyone. So thank you very much for being here. Really appreciate it. I need to try to go to sleep at a halfway decent time so my brain can function in the morning because I will be working on the next episode of Basis Points
BP
before I normally roll out of bed. So
before you normally roll out of bed? Dang.
Yeah.
Are you gonna tell me off stream who it is?
I thought I told you. I'll tell you off stream.
You told me
yeah.
there was a list of people, and
I normally don't get out of bed till like 7:40, 7:45.
well, it's fine. And I feel like New York 9 a.m. rolling into the office is like the thing.
I roll into the office anywhere from like 9 to 9:20.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Normally, if I don't have a big day and that like meetings and stuff, I work. You know, people probably know that at this point. I mean, I work for a European company, so I generally have to try to get in at 7, 8 o'clock. So
All right, Michelle, that's 8.5 hours. I would love to do that. I can't. Crazy.
hey, man, I would love to just. I would hope that this like probably thing makes a good turn, and I'd be able to just like use this application to figure out and help people love it. And if that's the case, I'll get my 8 hours. I'll be like Tanner. I'll get my 8 hours, live stream once a day, fix any problems that people might be having with the website, help people as much as I can.
Are shares of Hood jumping right now?
Steven. Let's see. They were up 8% today.
Ooh.
Only up 1% after hours. Only. I mean, it's great. Oh my God, Steve. You know I have 50 puts, $50. Sorry, not $50 puts, $50 calls, right?
You're a good kid.
For Jan 28. What does that mean to you, Steve?
I wonder if Roy and Amit, I'm on X. It looks like Hood is opening up Robinhood Market. I wonder if they're going to have sweatshirts from the event.
I would like a market. I would like a sweatshirt, a Hood sweatshirt. Wouldn't mind
Oh,
that.
this is cool. Robinhood will now let you send stock as gifts to kids with
That is great.
custodial accounts.
That's great.
Now that's legit.
That's legit.
That's legit. I love that.
I've been trying to figure out a way to do that for a long time. Cheaply.
I love that.
I do as well. All right, Steve.
All right, everyone. We're actually going to get going this time. Thank you very much for joining us. Please catch Maddie tomorrow. Please, Matt, can you drop a link to your site, please?
Sure. Steve's got broken wings. He's gonna go to sleep.
So please
Just
go
sleep.
sign up to Matt's site.
Steve's asleep. It's completely free. Just because you have to sign up doesn't mean you have to pay anything.
Completely free.
I'll probably go broke making it completely free, but
You can afford it.
I limited it to five times a day for now until I figure out how much it's going to cost.
You can afford it.
I know you can't. You got that tax bill.
Listen, if I had your money, I'd donate mine. Anyway, all right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll see everyone later. Matt will be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow at some point. I believe, even though Amit and I are shooting basis points, we will still be on tomorrow night.
Oh.
Amit is live, really? Is he? No, he's not.
Trump's live.
Anyway. All right, everyone. Have a great night. See everyone later.
Thank you. Love you.